So I came across this little news about a possible fight between Israel Adesanya and Nasruddin Imavov sometime next year, early next year. And it pushes me to come here and kick out a little discussion with you guys. Do you think champions should be more active in the UFC? The reason I'm asking these questions is because obviously the UFC being the biggest organization, the most successful MMA organization in the world. So on every weight class, you have a long roster of young men or young women waiting to fight for a title. Now, obviously, everybody who is fighting, that's the biggest dream, to become the champion. And I'm not sitting here trying to say that I understand or I know how long a fighter needs to recover, to wait before they come back and put the title on the line. But I'm just asking this question in the spirit of fairness, because obviously this is a game that those guys are playing. It's a game. It's a game. I win or you win. It's a game. They're doing it for money. They make some money for entertainment, for a lot of different things, for bragging rights, for a lot of different things. They're doing it, but it's a game. And the idea for everybody, the ultimate prize is the belt. Now, we have champions. We've seen champions like Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, Kamaru Usman, people that have been pretty active when they are champions. But you also have those people who they win the belt, they pack it up, and they go on vacation. They go out there to the beach, wherever they go, and then 6 months, a year later, they come back and defend the belt again. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's wrong or anything. I understand everybody wants to be the champions for as long as they can. You want to hold on this belt. I understand that. But also you need to understand that there is a long queue of young men, young women out there with the same dream, with the same hunger, with the same objective that you had before you became champion. They want to be champion. And I think the rules to make sure that everybody has a better chance at becoming the champion shouldn't be dependent on you who is holding the belt. I think there should be clear stipulations. If you want to become a champion, there are some requirements as to how often you defend the belt. You look at, I just said all these people, now Nasruddin Imavov had to fight, and now he's about to fight Israel Adesanya. And even after fighting Israel Adesanya, it's not even clear he's going to be next for the title, because you still have Sean Strickland versus DDP is not even booked yet. And I don't even remember when Sean Strickland fought Paulo Costa, or when DDP fought Israel Adesanya. It's been a while. And then you have Chimaev kind of in the queue. Some people even think that he should go before Strickland. So you get all those guys waiting. And even somebody like Robert Whittaker, who just lost to Chimaev, I still think he's right there for the title. But now, because of so many guys in queue, I mean, can he fight for another 2-3 years before he get to that title again? I mean, the man is getting there in age, and obviously we understand this is a game of age. It's a very short span of time those guys have to fight to make as much money as they can, become as popular as they can. It's a short game. And when you have people who just kind of sit with the belt and do whatever they want, I mean, I don't think it's fair for anybody else. I'll give you an example. Tony Ferguson. Now, him and Khabib never fought. And you could tell it's something that Tony carries with him. And I understand. Because now, obviously, I don't think it was either man's fault they never fought. But he just had this huge win streak until he got beat by Justin Gagey, and that derailed his opportunity of becoming the undisputed champion of the lightweight division. And now some people may say, well, but Tony would never beat Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I would argue differently because I would point out the night that Khabib fought Ayala Cuenta. Now I want you to picture that Ayala Cuenta at this point of time, the Tony Ferguson we knew, and instead of Ayala Cuenta, that was Tony Ferguson. And I want you to look at me in the eyes and tell me that it was impossible for Tony Ferguson to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov that night. Not saying he beat him every night, but I think that was a night he could possibly beat Khabib. So, Tony is one example, but I think there are many examples out there of people who should have fought for the title, but because of such a long wait every time, and they never got the chance. Which leads us to the situation between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall right now. Tom Aspinall was recently forced to defend his interim title against Curtis Blades. And now Jon Jones, after beating Stipe Miocic, says something to the effect, well, he's gonna go to the negotiation table with Dana White, see if it's worth his time. Basically, he's talking about how much money he may get paid. That may depend on whether he fights Tom or not. Now, let's say, for the sake of argument, we find ourselves in a situation where Jon Jones is in that same type of negotiation that Francis Ngannou was, and this is nothing against Francis. He did something nobody else could do, and he's doing great for himself. But I'm just talking about other fighters, because we need to take everybody in consideration. That's where I'm coming from. We need to look what's fair for everybody. So let's say that Jon Jones is in that type of negotiation, back and forth, and he's the champion, he has the belt. What do you do with Tom Aspinall? Does he sit there and wait? Does he wait for 3 months, 6 months, a year? For how long? Or do we say, okay, Jon Jones and the UFC cannot come to an agreement right now as to what's fair for both parties to fight Tom Aspinall. We're going to strip him of the belt and let Tom fight, let's say, the winner of Cyril Gane versus Volkov for the undisputed title. What do you do? I think that would be probably the fair thing to do. And now when Jon Jones and the UFC come to a final agreement, then him and Tom can fight, or whoever is the champion at the time, they can fight. He would be automatically the number one contender. And I have nothing against Jon Jones or anybody. This is not a judgment on anyone. I'm just asking those questions in terms of me sitting on the outside and looking, are those kind of things fair? Obviously, Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time, in my opinion. But when you look at all those things, you wonder if they're fair or not. And I have heard fighters like Aljamain Sterling complaining about they were being forced to fight too early and all this stuff. And again, I understand it. I understand it, because you can be forced to fight too early and you lose your belt. But at the same time, too, who says that it's fair for the other guys to just sit and wait until you are totally good mentally and physically and all this stuff? Because again, it's just a game. I understand it involves money and everything, but it's a game. We're all just trying to win. And if I'm going to have to sit here, wait for my prime to depart from me until you get ready to fight, that doesn't seem fair to me. But anyway, so what do you guys think? So let me know in the comment section. And now the other thing I wanted to talk about is Ian Gary. Do you think Ian Gary not fighting Joaquin Buckley may be a blessing in disguise? And the reason I say that, because if Ian Gary goes out there, he loses to Shavkat Rakhmonov, that's not bad. He doesn't lose anything. Ian Gary doesn't have much to lose in this fight. I think Shavkat is the one who has more to lose. Because if he loses to Shavkat Rakhmonov, he's still where he was. But if he had gone out there and got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley, that would be a different story. And Rockin' Buckley is one of those guys who seems to me who may just slip by us and become the champion before we know it. He's walking around this with this attitude. It's almost like necessarily not my skills or anything. And I'm not saying he's not skillful. He's very skillful. But I'm just saying, you know, he's not, there are a lot of guys ahead of him, and at least in the rankings. But he's one of those guys working out that it doesn't matter. One way or another, I am going to be the winner of this fight. And I think there was a high probability that he knocked out Ian Gary if they fought, which leads me to believe that he's probably going to retire Colby Covington. What do you guys think? Do you think Rockin' Buckley will retire Colby Covington? I think that's a possibility that he knocks out Colby Covington. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, Mike Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. I love Mike Chandler. I mean, it's not a lot of people can go out there, lose, but act as, I mean, if you come to the point, if you turn on your TV when you didn't watch the fight and you found Mike Chandler on that post-fight interview, you would have thought that he was the winner. I mean, that's awesome. And I guess we love Mike Chandler. We love watching him fight. He's as entertaining as they come. But that was great. And last but not least, Jake Paul. What do you guys think? Do you think the Jake Paul show should stop now? Do you think Jake Paul should go out there and fight some serious people? And I'm not saying that Anderson Silva, Mike Tyson weren't serious or anything, but when they're sitting, I'm talking, those guys were out of their prime, people who basically should just stay at home with their families, not be in the fight business anymore. But I'm talking about the young, hungry lions, like young boxers, even young MMA fighters, truly guys. Not calling Alex Pereira, that can't get out of a contract. I'm not saying that. We all know this is just pretending. But I'm just talking about the people who are out there who can fight, who's willing to fight, great boxers. Do you think Jake Paul should be fighting them? Because obviously he's running out of people to call, because all those gimmick fights are pretty much, there's not a lot left out there. Who gonna call? I mean, I was surprised he didn't call Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor. I don't know if you guys were, but I was surprised he didn't call one of them, because obviously he's running out of easy people to call. I think he's probably going to be calling Amanda Nunes or Kayla Harrison or Chris Cyborg. I think that's what he's going to resort to. But anyways, I would like for you guys to go to the comment section to share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. But please subscribe to my channel, share this video, and like this video. I would truly appreciate it.